An undefeated record often carries with it an aura of invincibility. And it's no surprise that many fighters will go to great lengths to protect that perfect slate. However, the harsh sooner or later, a list of undefeated fighters who were shockingly knocked out in spectacular fashion by their opponents.
We'll try and chat one more, but he can't. Dillian Whyte.
Anthony Joshua versus Dillian Whyte. In December 2015, British rivals Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte faced off for the British Commonwealth and WBC international heavyweight titles. Both fighters were unbeaten. Joshua with a record of 14-0 and Whyte at 16-0, leading to an all-out war in the ring. The fight had everything: drama, explosive exchanges, and moments of pure tension. Whyte rocked Joshua in the second round, leaving him visibly shaken. But Joshua recovered and began to take control in the later rounds. By the 7th round, Joshua unleashed a brutal knockout punch that sent Whyte crashing to the canvas, handing him his first professional defeat in devastating fashion. Juan Carlos Salgado versus Jorge Linares. In October 2009, WBA super featherweight champion Jorge Linares put his undefeated record on the line against Mexican challenger Juan Carlos Salgado. Both men entered the ring with perfect records, but Salgado wasted no time asserting himself, aggressively pressing the attack from the opening bell. A sharp left hook floored Linares early in the fight. Though Linares quickly recovered, Salgado didn't relent and seized the opportunity to finish the job, knocking out the champion in just 73 seconds. David Price versus Tony Thompson. David Price, the 2008 Olympic bronze medalist and British heavyweight champion, entered his 16th professional bout against American Tony Thompson in February 2013 with an unbeaten record. Having knocked out all but 2 of his 15 previous opponents, Price was the favorite going into the fight. Thompson, however, confidently predicted that he would outmuscle the Brit and take control from the southpaw stance. And in the second round, he delivered a huge knockout punch that ended Price's unbeaten streak in dramatic fashion, leaving the crowd in stunned silence. Dillian Whyte versus Lucas Browne. Dillian Whyte, the holder of the WBC silver heavyweight title, was matched up against undefeated Australian challenger Lucas Browne in March 2018. While Whyte bloodied Browne early in the fight and dominated the opening rounds, it was in the 6th round that he unleashed a perfectly timed combination that left Browne out cold, securing one of the most memorable finishes of his career.
It's exciting times in this heavyweight division.
Oh, goodness me! Well, there is the disaster scenario for this huge crowd, and Price is in real trouble. He's on.
Mike Tyson versus Buster Douglas. In the late 1980s, Mike Tyson was the most feared fighter on the planet. Having become the youngest heavyweight champion in history at just 20 years old, Tyson had unified the heavyweight titles and was considered invincible. So, when he faced 42-1 underdog James Buster Douglas in February 1990, no one, including Tyson, gave Douglas much of a chance. But what followed was one of the greatest upsets in boxing history. Despite a strong start by Tyson, Douglas weathered the storm and stunned the world by knocking Tyson out in the 10th round, ending his unbeaten reign and delivering one of the most shocking moments in boxing.
Actually, his Buster landing these. Oh, nice uppercut by Buster Douglas. Look at this. He's knocked down for the first time in his career. Mike Tyson hits the canvas. He's in big trouble. He's not gonna make it. Unbelievable.
Roy Jones Jr. vs. Brian Brannon. In October 1996, Roy Jones Jr. made his 5th defense of the IBF super middleweight title against undefeated contender Brian Brannon. Jones entered the ring with a perfect 32-0 record, while Brannon was just as impressive, boasting a flawless 16-0 mark. Brannon wasted no time charging at Jones from the opening bell, unleashing a flurry of punches that kept the champion from launching any significant attacks. But despite his aggression, none of Brannon's shots found their mark. Jones, ever the calm and collected fighter, weathered the storm and found his rhythm. Halfway through the first round, Jones landed a sharp left hook that sent Brannon to the canvas.
It's been very calm, I think, though, Jim. Good left hook by Roy Jones.
Oh, he rocked Brannon with a solid left hook, and now he's got Brannon wobbled. Here we go.
He shook it off, but barely survived the rest of the round. In round 2, Jones came alive, knocking Brannon down again with a devastating left hook. The challenger was no match for the champion's precision and power, and Jones sealed the deal with another knockout, sending Brannon crashing to the canvas for good.
Tattoos Brannon, and then Jones says, look, you want more? Okay.
David Tua versus Darrell Wilson in September 1996. Two unbeaten heavyweights, David Tua and Darrell Wilson, squared off for the WBC International Heavyweight title. Tua, having demolished John Ruiz in 19 seconds earlier that year, was looking to continue his dominance. Wilson, however, was no slouch. He had already shocked the world by withstanding Shannon Briggs' best punches before knocking him out cold. The fight between Tua and Wilson started fast, with both fighters exchanging heavy shots at close range.
I couldn't have said it any better. You want to establish a left-hand fight. Make him fight this fight by beating him to the jab.
But it ended just as quickly. In the closing moments of round 1, Tua landed a devastating left hook that sent Wilson crashing to the canvas, out cold.
Wilson tries a right hand across the top. Tua lands a short left. First down, Wilson, or first time Wilson's ever been down.
Can he beat them?
Felix Trinidad vs. Fernando Vargas in December 2000, undefeated champions. Felix Trinidad and Fernando Vargas clashed in a highly anticipated unification bout for the IBF and WBA light middleweight titles. With a combined 58-0 record and 49 knockouts, both men were hungry to prove who was the best. Trinidad got off to a flying start, knocking Vargas down twice in the first round with clean left hooks. But Vargas wasn't done. In the 4th round, he dropped Trinidad with a short left hook, bringing the fight back to life. Despite some back and forth action, Vargas eventually showed signs of fatigue. Trinidad seized the opportunity in the final rounds, knocking Vargas down 3 times in round 12 to win by knockout and close out one of the most thrilling fights of his career.
He's a veteran.
And that'll do it. The third right hand, the third knockdown of the round. A huge victory for Tito Trinidad.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Ricky Hatton in December 2007, the undefeated Floyd Mayweather Jr. defended his WBC and Ring Magazine welterweight titles against England's Ricky Hatton. Both fighters entered the ring with perfect records, but it was Hatton's relentless forward pressure that forced Mayweather to work harder than ever. After a slow start, Mayweather found his rhythm and began to pick apart Hatton with his superior boxing skills. In round 10, Mayweather delivered a check left hook that floored Hatton. Though Hatton got back up, Mayweather finished the job moments later, securing the knockout victory and handing Hatton his first defeat. Robert Helenius versus Johann Duhaupas. In April 2016, unbeaten heavyweight Robert Helenius squared off against former WBC heavyweight title challenger Johann Duhaupas for the vacant WBC silver heavyweight title. After being knocked down in the 4th round, Helenius showed heart and tried to fight back, but Duhaupas proved too much. In the 6th round, Duhaupas sealed the deal with a knockout, ending Helenius' unbeaten record and claiming the title. Lennox Lewis versus Michael Grant. In April 2000, Lennox Lewis stepped into the ring to defend his WBC, IBF, and IBO titles against the unbeaten Michael Grant. Though the public wasn't particularly excited about this fight, there's no denying that both of these fighters were top tier. The two massive men wasted no time, with both men starting strong in round 1. Grant came out swinging, eager to press the attack and land his right hand, but Lewis quickly responded, landing a thunderous right hand midway through the 1st round that sent Grant crashing to the canvas.
Location there, you need Vaseline.
Lewis lands an uppercut and Grant goes down.
A massive uppercut from Lewis followed. landing high on Grant's head, knocking him down for the second time before the round ended. Grant tried to stay on his feet, but with just seconds left in the round, Lewis floored him again, marking the third knockdown in a single round. Under the heavyweight no 3 knockdown rule, the fight was called off, and Lewis retained his title in spectacular fashion. Marvis Frazier versus Larry Holmes. In November 1983, Marvis Frazier, the son of legendary heavyweight champion Joe Frazier, faced off against Larry Holmes for the ring and lineal heavyweight titles. Both men entered with undefeated records, but Holmes, with 44 professional fights under his belt, was the far more experienced fighter. Frazier, with only 10 pro bouts, was no match for the skill and power of Holmes. From the opening bell, it was clear that Holmes was in complete control. Midway through the first round, Holmes landed a powerful right hand that sent Frazier to the canvas. Frazier managed to get back on his feet, but Holmes continued to dominate, overwhelming the young challenger. Just seconds before the round ended, the referee stepped in and stopped the fight, giving Holmes a dominant first-round victory. Vladimir Klitschko versus Kubrat Pulev in November 2014. Vladimir Klitschko made the 17th defense of his IBF title against the unbeaten Bulgarian challenger Kubrat Pulev. Pulev started the fight swinging, eager to catch the champion off guard, but Klitschko quickly took control, landing a left hook that sent Pulev to the canvas within the first round. Pulev got up, seemingly unharmed, but Klitschko continued to apply pressure. Another left hook sent Pulev down again. By the third round, Pulev had no answers for Klitschko's devastating punches.
Pulev to come to him.
Klitschko dropped him again in the third, taunting the challenger with every strike. In the fifth round, Klitschko sealed the deal with a brutal left hook that knocked Pulev out cold, retaining his title in dominant fashion. Riddick Bowe versus Jorge Luis Gonzalez. In June 1995, Riddick Bowe defended his WBO title against amateur rival Jorge Luis Gonzalez. Gonzalez entered the fight with an undefeated 23-0 record, with 22 knockouts. The two had met in the amateurs, with Gonzalez defeating Bowe, but this time, the stakes were much higher. From the opening bell, Bowe took control of the fight, dictating the pace and landing heavy shots while Gonzalez struggled to keep up. Midway through the sixth round, Bowe landed a powerful right hand that sent Gonzalez to the canvas for the first time in his career. Gonzalez couldn't recover, and Bowe finished the job with another crushing right hand, knocking out Gonzalez and retaining his title. James Bone Crusher Smith versus Frank Bruno. In 1984, James Bone Crusher Smith faced the undefeated British prospect Frank Bruno, who had knocked out every one of his previous 21 opponents. Bruno was expected to win, but Smith wasn't going to be an easy opponent. After 9 rounds of action, it appeared that Bruno was on his way to a decision victory. However, with about 2 minutes left in the 10th and final round, Smith delivered a powerful left hook that stunned Bruno and sent him reeling. Smith didn't let up. He followed up with a barrage of punches, knocking Bruno out cold and handing him his first ever professional defeat. Bruno's impressive streak was shattered in dramatic fashion, and Smith made a major statement. Mike Tyson versus Michael Spinks. In 1988, 21-year-old undisputed heavyweight champion Mike Tyson faced the unbeaten Michael Spinks, the former undisputed world light heavyweight champion. Spinks had moved up to heavyweight and dethroned longtime champion Larry Holmes to become the IBF and lineal heavyweight champion. But Tyson, with his explosive power and unrelenting style, was a different beast altogether. From the opening bell, Tyson went straight for Spinks, cutting off the ring and landing hard punches to both the head and body. Tyson drove Spinks into the ropes and dropped him with a vicious body shot. Spinks managed to get back up, but Tyson finished him off just 91 seconds into the fight with a devastating right hand that sent Spinks crashing to the canvas. Spinks was unable to recover, and Tyson had claimed another dominant victory. Amir Khan versus Breidis Prescott. In 2008, British boxing star and Olympic silver medalist Amir Khan defended his WBO Intercontinental lightweight title against the little-known Colombian challenger Breidis Prescott. Khan, with a perfect 18-0 record and 14 knockouts, was the clear favorite. Prescott, however, came in with his own perfect 19-0 record with 17 knockouts. Despite Prescott being a massive underdog, he came out swinging and landed a powerful left hand that sent Khan crashing to the canvas. Khan struggled to get back on his feet, and Prescott followed up with another devastating attack, knocking Khan out just 55 seconds into the first round. It was one of the most shocking upsets in British boxing history, and Prescott had pulled off the unimaginable. Daniel Jacobs versus Dmitry Pirog. In a thrilling battle of undefeated prospects, Daniel Jacobs from the US faced off against Dmitry Pirog of Russia for the vacant WBO middleweight title in July 2010. Jacobs, with a perfect 20-0 record and 17 knockouts, was heavily favored. Pirog, however, entered with his own perfect record of 16-0, boasting 13 knockouts. The fight began with both fighters testing each other's defenses, but it was Pirog who struck first.
Good right hand by Pirog.
In round 2, Jacobs was stunned by a right hand, nearly going down.
Geber from Amir who's in there. Look at this.
Despite being shaken, Jacobs pushed through and managed to regain his composure, but Pirog's pressure paid off in round 5. He delivered a devastating knockout that left Jacobs unconscious, handing him his first defeat in a fight that many will never forget. Lennox Lewis versus Oliver McCall. In September 1994, Lennox Lewis, the undefeated WBC heavyweight champion, was defending his title for the 4th time against American challenger Oliver McCall. Lewis, who had clinched the gold medal at the 1988 Olympics, entered the ring with an impressive record of 25 wins and 21 knockouts. McCall, on the other hand, came in with a more modest record of 24-5, mostly accumulating victories over lesser-known opponents. Known as one of Mike Tyson's primary sparring partners, McCall lacked a major breakthrough in his career. But in an incredible turn of events, less than 30 seconds into the second round, McCall stunned the world. With a perfectly timed right hand, he knocked the champion, Lennox Lewis, out cold.
Unbeaten, remember, after 25 fights. Oh, he's got him!
Lewis, who had been in control until that moment, was left in utter disbelief as McCall celebrated a shock victory, claiming the heavyweight crown. Ismail Silak versus Denny Grachev. In April 2012, unbeaten Ukrainian Ismail Silak defended his NABF light heavyweight title against the undefeated Russian challenger Denis Grachev. While Grachev came in as a major underdog, Silak was the favorite, known for his powerful knockout punches. By round 3, Silak had Grachev on the canvas, forcing him to take a knee with a solid right hand. Grachev, however, was resilient, quickly rising to his feet, though visibly unsteady. Silak seemed unable to capitalize, and in round 8, Grachev responded with a knockout blow that sent Silak crashing to the mat and handed him his first professional defeat. It was a stunning upset and proof that anything can happen in the ring. Kostjitsu versus Zab Judah, November 2001, saw an explosive junior welterweight unification bout between Kostjitsu and Zab Judah. Tsu, holding the WBA and WBC titles with a 27-1 record, was pitted against the undefeated Judah, who had the IBF title and a flawless 27-0 record. Judah started strong, controlling the early rounds with a sharp jab and slick combinations that kept Tsu on the defensive. But in round 2, everything changed. A brutal right hand from Tsu rocked Judah and evened the playing field. The punch sent Judah crashing down, and despite his best efforts to recover, the fight was waved off as Tsu was declared the winner. It was a controversial finish, with Judah and his team protesting the stoppage. Which of these incredible knockouts is your favorite? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you know of any more epic knockouts that should have made this list, feel free to share them. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon to stay up to date with more knockout highlights.